Welcome back. Today we're diving into another fascinating piece of U.S. coinage history, exploring the details, design, and background that make old coins like the $1 such a special collectible for both beginners and experienced collectors. Let's get started first up. The United States of America $1 coin from the year 1979 is a coin that holds a very special place in the history of American coinage because it was the very first year that the Susan B. Anthony dollar was issued. Before 1979, the U.S. had produced the large Eisenhower dollar coins, which were often considered bulky and not very practical for everyday circulation. In an attempt to introduce a smaller and more convenient dollar coin, the U.S. Mint launched the Susan B. Anthony dollar in 1979, and this marked the beginning of a new era for American currency. The coin is composed of a copper-nickel-clad composition with a copper core, which gives it a silver-like color, though it contains no actual silver. On the front, or obverse side, there is a left-facing portrait of Susan B. Anthony, who was a leading activist in the women's suffrage movement and fought tirelessly for women's right to vote. Around her portrait are 13 stars representing the original colonies, the word liberty at the top, the national motto "I in God we trust" to the right, and the year 1979 at the bottom. The reverse of the coin features the design created by Frank Gasparo, which was borrowed from the earlier Eisenhower dollar, showing the Apollo 11 mission insignia, an eagle landing on the moon holding an olive branch, with Earth in the background and 13 stars surrounding it, along with the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and $1. The $1,979 coin was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, with no mint mark or sometimes a P, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. The San Francisco Mint produced both regular business strike coins and special proof coins for collectors. An interesting feature of the 1979 issue is that it has varieties, most notably the wide rim, near date, and narrow rim, far date, versions from the Philadelphia Mint. The wide rim is scarcer and therefore more collectible, as the date appears closer to the edge of the coin with a thicker border. The San Francisco proof coins also came with 2 types of S mint marks, Type 1 with a weaker, blurry style and Type 2 with a sharper, clearer style, the latter being more valuable among collectors. While the coin was meant to replace the paper dollar bill and encourage circulation, the public never really accepted it, mainly because its size and color were very similar to a quarter, leading to confusion. Because of this rejection, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was not widely used in daily commerce, and huge quantities remained in storage, which makes circulated examples very common today. When we consider the old condition of the $1,979 coin, meaning coins that have circulated heavily and show clear signs of wear, scratches, dull surfaces, or even discoloration, the value remains quite low. In most cases, such circulated pieces are worth only face value, that is $1, since millions were produced, and they are still very easy to find. For lightly circulated coins in slightly better condition, the value might rise modestly to $1.25 or $1.50, but still these are not rare. Higher-grade circulated coins in about uncirculated AU condition, where only slight wear is visible on the high points of the design, may fetch around $2 to $3 depending on demand. The real collector interest lies in uncirculated mint state examples, especially those with special varieties. But when talking specifically about old condition or worn coins, the premium is almost non-existent. Proof coins or scarce varieties like the wide-rim Philadelphia dollar can still attract attention, but if they are in heavily circulated, old condition, their appeal and value drop significantly, sometimes still trading only for $1 or a little above. Despite its low market value in old condition, the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar remains historically meaningful because it represents the first U.S. coin to feature an actual woman, not a symbolic figure, and it connects numismatics to the women's suffrage movement. It also reflects the government's attempt to modernize the dollar coin system, even though the project largely failed with the public. Many collectors still keep $1,979 as part of their sets to remember this unique chapter in U.S. currency history. Therefore, while in old condition the coin does not bring financial profit, it still carries cultural and historical worth. And for many people, owning it is like keeping a small piece of America's social and monetary heritage alive. The United States of America $1 coin from 1980 is part of the short-lived Susan B. Anthony dollar series, which was introduced in 1979 and struck again in 1980, 1981, and then briefly revived in 1999. The $1,980 represents the second year of issue in this series, created to replace the large Eisenhower dollar with a smaller, lighter coin that could be used more easily in everyday commerce and vending machines. The coin is composed of a copper, nickel-clad alloy over a copper core, giving it a silvery appearance but without any silver content. On the obverse is a portrait of Susan B. Anthony, the famous 19th century suffragist and social reformer who campaigned tirelessly for women's right to vote. The portrait, designed by Frank Gasparo, faces left and is surrounded by 13 stars representing the original colonies, with the word liberty at the top, the motto "I in God we trust" to the right, and the year 1980 at the bottom. On the reverse, Gasparo reused the Apollo 11 insignia design first seen on the Eisenhower dollar, an eagle landing on the moon holding an olive branch, with Earth in the background, surrounded by 13 stars. Around the border are the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and the denomination $1. In 1980, the coin was struck at 3 U.S. mints. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins with the P mint mark, which is significant because it was the first year that Philadelphia used a P on a circulating dollar coin. Denver coins carried the D mint mark, while San Francisco produced both regular S business strikes and polished proof coins made for collectors. Mintages were very high, as the U.S. Treasury expected this new small dollar to gain popularity, but the public largely rejected it because it was too similar in size, weight, and color to the quarter, which caused confusion in transactions. As a result, most of the coins saw limited actual use in commerce, and huge numbers were stored in vaults for many years. When discussing the $1,980 coin in old condition, meaning circulated examples that have seen heavy wear, scratches, discoloration, and loss of luster, the market value is very low because the coins are so common. In the lowest grades, such as good, G, or very good, VG, the details of Susan B. Anthony's face and hair are worn smooth, and the eagle on the reverse looks flat. These examples are generally worth only $1, their face value. In fine, F, or very fine, VF, grades, where the major design elements are still visible but lack sharpness, the value rises slightly to about $1.25 to $1.50. In extremely fine, XF, or about uncirculated, AU, grades, where most of the detail is clear but the coin has lost its original shine, the value might be $2 to $3, though this is still modest. Only in uncirculated mint state, MS, condition, with no signs of circulation and strong luster, do the coins reach more collector value, usually between $5 and $10 depending on the mint and grade. The San Francisco proofs, if preserved in original packaging, can be worth around $8 to $15, but if they are worn or found in old circulated condition, their premium is lost, and they may sell for only a couple of dollars above face value. Even though the coin has little financial premium in old condition, the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar remains historically significant. It represents a transitional era in U.S. coinage, an effort to modernize the dollar system, and it was the first time that a real woman was honored on a circulating American coin. The 1980 issue is especially notable because of the introduction of the P mint mark for Philadelphia coins, a practice that continues today on many denominations. While old circulated coins may only be worth their face value, they are still treasured by collectors as part of the complete set of Susan B. Anthony dollars and as a symbol of both the failure and the importance of this short series. In conclusion, the 1981 dollar coin in old condition is not rare and generally trades for $1 to $2 in the market, but it carries cultural and historical value that far outweighs its monetary worth. It tells the story of how the United States attempted to introduce a practical small-sized dollar, only to have it rejected by the public. It also celebrates the life and achievements of Susan B. Anthony, whose work shaped the future of democracy in America. Even a worn, scratched, and circulated example connects us to this unique period in U.S. monetary history, making it a meaningful keepsake despite its low financial value.